Welcome back to Marcus at Work Media. So we got this crazy story about this woman that apparently got scammed out of her life savings with some kind of bank scam, right? It's not the usual bank scam. It's a little different. She ended up going to the bank and handing these people in a random unmarked Honda her life savings from this scam. I know it's a lot. How do you get to that point? Okay, let's back up. Let's back up for a second and let her explain what this is.
This story is so crazy that it is almost unbelievable. Like, it just doesn't even sound real. This girl was scammed out of $4,000, and I say that with quotations because she literally handed the money over. Now, I don't want to talk down on her because I feel like she's beating herself up enough, but I want to talk about the people in her comments saying this is some advanced lucrative scam. This was legitimately all her fault, and trust me, I'm not trying to victim blame or throw all of this back in her face because I know she knows it was her fault, but at no point were these scammers advanced or lucrative. So maybe just listen and share so that nobody else can get fooled by this very easy scam to identify. She started off by saying that her bank called her, and to her credit, she did look up the bank's phone number just to confirm that it was the correct one. But that's about the only good thing she did in this whole situation. If you don't know, scammers can spoof phone numbers, which basically means that they can call you and make it seem like they're calling off a different phone number. And banks know this, which is why they have repeatedly said that they will never call you. If they suspect fraud on your account, they will just lock your card and wait for you to call them. Also, your email provider will never call you. Just throwing that one out there just in case. So this is red flag number one. Major red flag number one, in fact. This is already a scam and you should know this. But anyway, she continues with this phone call and she gets transferred to their scam department, which is a new phone number. First off, if you get transferred, you won't even see the new phone number. So she would have had to hang up the phone from that conversation and they would have had to call her back with a new phone number, which is red flag number two. They then proceed to tell her that she needs to go to a physical location and withdraw cash. Red flag number three, why would they need you to withdraw cash for them just to test to see if you're fraud or not if they already have your money? She then says that she got tripped up again because these people knew the location that she was going to. It is so easy for you guys to find out the location of where you're at with your name and your phone number, which these scammers already have. Literally, go to Google right now and type in a phone number location lookup and type your phone number in. It's going to give you the general location of where you are. She then proceeds to tell them that that location is under investigation for ID fraud and they need her to withdraw all the money she can and give it back to them to help with their investigation. And she needs to do all of this without telling the teller at the bank why she's doing it. Red flag number four, you are not a double agent for your bank. And going back to red flag number three, your bank doesn't need you to withdraw money to hand it back to them. They already have your money. She then withdraws all her life savings, $4,000, and gives it to an unmarked card. Nothing about this scam was advanced or lucrative. She fell for the most basic scam in the book. And I do feel really bad for her. So she has a GoFundMe in her bio. So if you feel it in your heart, please go help her out. But come on now, let's stop this advanced and lucrative stuff.
Yesterday, I get a call from my bank and it was my bank's number. I Googled the number. I am like going like in my head, like, yes, that like back and forth, like, is my bank, is it a scam? I finally like tell myself like this is real. I Googled the number. This guy seems legit. Like, he's not asking me for any of my information. He's telling me that there's been fraudulent activity on my card and asking me if I am aware of a charge in Texas. I say no, I'm not in Texas. I'm in Colorado. So that's happened to me before. And normally the next step is like they freeze my card and then I get sent a new one. But that was not what happened to me this time. He said, okay, I need to transfer you to our fraud department. They are going to bring you through the next steps. And they got me so good. Like, I am so stupid. Anyway, long story short, I take all of my cash that I withdrawed and I gave it to a U.S. bank courier that was parked outside of my residence. I did that. I voluntarily gave over my money. They got me that good. I am 23 years of age. I am aware of these scams, and I'm so stupid. That's like the grief I'm going through. Like, I can't even say the number. Like, I can't put myself through that embarrassment, but just know I've been saving it for a long time, and it was my nest egg, and it was possibly going to get me some sort of property so I don't have to rent anymore. Like, I've worked for that for almost 10 years now. I've worked since I was 15 years old, and it's just taken away from me, but it wasn't. I gave it to them. And that's the part that rips me to shreds.
Because if you from the turf, you from the streets, you have certain instincts about things that it wouldn't get quite that far. Now, I agree. It was way too many red flags, way too many opportunities to stop or rethink this thing before continuing on. They called on the phone. They called her from a random other line, had her go to the bank, withdraw everything. What kind of fraud department had you withdraw all your money and have you involved in a recon mission to try to catch them? It's too odd. It's too strange. And if you understand the banking system, you understand how banks operate, you know they don't do stuff like this. But let's hear what other people got to say, man. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this a little too harshly.
Consider myself to be a good person. I try to be. I'm not as good as some of y'all. I'm not as nice as some of y'all. Because what do you mean? That woman gave her life savings away to a person in an unmarked Honda because the bank told her to, and now she has like $7,000 in her GoFundMe. Who heard that story and was like, you know what? She's down on her luck. Let me donate my money. Like, I just couldn't do it. Like, sometimes you just have to learn that life lesson. I'm sorry. Like, that's not even I get maybe like the prank calls where it says somebody's in jail when that thing first started. But she gave all her money, cash, which she took out of the bank, to a person in an unmarked Honda and has a GoFundMe. And people are donating. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm glad everybody's not like me, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Now, the donation part is kind of what got me, right? Is this story just for donations? Because we've heard stuff like that. That'll be a scam in a scam. If she pretend to be scammed to scam us out of donating, that's where my mind go. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's where my mind go. Because this is just too outrageous. But let's assume her story is correct and now people are donating out the kindness of their heart. I get that, I respect that, but I can't do that. So if all the other stuff was able to slip past me and I did not know at that point what I was doing, handing the money to an unmarked Civic, come on, bruh. Come on. What do you guys make of this? You tell me. Put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Marcus at Work Media, and I'm out this bitch.